Hi folks, and welcome back to Meaningful Money. Here I am in my office, having just watched Chancellor of the Exchequer George Osborne deliver his third budget. I thought that I would get the details up here, no, not the details really, the headlines, the main points up here as soon as I can. I know that you can get that information from lots of different places, but hopefully it'll be delivered here in the usual Meaningful Money, easy to understand way. Now, before I get into it, my colleagues down here in the bottom right of the screen, that's Seven Investment Management, who continue to sponsor me here on Meaningful Money. So I'm very grateful to them for doing that. They help me to keep going. Now, the Chancellor of the Exchequer called this a budget which rewards working families. And he called it a fiscally neutral budget, saying that he has reduced spending a little bit and reduced taxation. So the two will sort of offset each other a little bit. It remains to be seen whether the devil is in the detail or not. It usually is. I have no intention of reading the hundreds of pages of detail. I shall leave that to people much cleverer than me. And so I'm here to give you the key points, not so much an opinion, but the key points and what I think they might mean to you. So let's look at taxation first, and I'm going to scooch across, bring in a bit of a graphic. So the main points as far as taxation are concerned, sorry, my recorder just fell down, sorry about that. The main points as far as taxation are concerned is there's an increase to the personal allowance. Personal allowance is the amount of money you can earn without paying any tax at all. It was going up by £600 odd, £630 I think, in a couple of weeks at the beginning of April to £8,105, but the Chancellor has announced it's going to go up significantly more next April 2013 to £9,205. Now he reckons that this will take a total of 2 million people out of tax altogether, those being paid the lowest in the country. The plan of the coalition government and the aim is to get the personal allowance up to 10,000 per person. So there's making strides towards that, it would seem. The top rate of income tax is going to be dropped from 50% down to 45%. This is for people earning over 130,000 a year. I think it is. I have to check that. The graphic will confirm for me. Very controversial, this 50% tax band was a Labour initiative. Ed Miliband, in his response to the Chancellor, really drove quite hard the fact that those on the cabinet could well stand to benefit from the 50% tax rate. No doubt that's true. I imagine many of the shadow cabinet would benefit from it as well. But anyway, the top rate is going down. That's only for the very highest earners though. Importantly, really important point, age allowances are to be scrapped. Currently, if you are over 65 and over 75, you get a higher personal allowance. This is going to be scrapped, not altogether, but sort of phased in over time. So eventually, it will be a flat personal allowance for everybody. This is, according to the Chancellor at least, in a bid to simplify taxation. In real terms, it means that whereas at the moment you benefit from being older and get more of a tax-free allowance, that will be removed in due course, probably from 2013 actually, so it is happening quite quickly. One of the things that the Chancellor mentioned is that everybody will get an annual tax statement showing what they have been paid and what that money has been spent on. It's quite an interesting idea. Not convinced that's a great use of money myself, but never mind. So that's the main sort of personal taxation headlines. What about other taxes? Well, if you're a business, corporation tax has been cut by twice what they were originally planning to cut, going down to 24% next year and heading down to 22% from 2014. So good news for businesses. They are introducing an extra level of stamp duty land tax for house purchases over £2 million. Now, I don't imagine as many people watching this that will affect, but it's important nonetheless. Be interesting to see how much money that actually brings in. Another case where the devil is in the detail. And the Chancellor is cracking down on schemes where companies buy large properties for residential use and introducing a stamp duty threshold of 15% on that and possibly an annual levy as well. Moving on to duties, these are usually the headline stories of the budget. There's no change in fuel duty, we're already paying quite enough as it is, I'm sure you'll agree. There is a rise though due to come in this autumn, and there's no change to that, so that rise, which many had hoped would be put back, will in fact carry on. It will still happen this autumn. Vehicle vehicle, I knew I'd say that. Vehicle excise duty, your car tax, will rise by inflation. No change to alcohol duties. Fags though, cigarette duty, tobacco duty is going up by 5% above inflation from 6 o'clock tonight. So in real terms that means 37p on a packet of fags. Pensions, important subject. The government is moving closer to a £140 per week flat state pension for everybody. That's not happening yet, but he's moving towards it. What he has introduced, which is quite important, is an automatic review of the state pension age. We are all living longer. When the state pension age of 65 was set, the average life expectancy was apparently 66 or 67. Of course, now average life expectancy is mid-80s, mid to late 80s. So something needs to change in that regard, as painful as that is for those approaching the state retirement age. But the state retirement age is now going to be automatically reviewed in line with increases in longevity. So an important point there. There's going to be no changes though to pension relief for those of us saving into a pension. There was concerns that that might be reduced further, but it would appear not. And finally, benefits. If you are in receipt of child benefit, and on sort of middle income, middle to sort of good income really, it was announced, I think last time or possibly the time before, that child benefit would be withdrawn if either partner in a couple was earning more than 50,000. It's now going to be phased withdrawn. So if one party in a couple is earning more than 50,000 up to 60,000, then 1% of the child benefit will be withdrawn for every £100 earned over £50,000 a year. So people earning over £60,000 will get no child benefit at all. But whereas before it was, if you earned £50,001, all your child benefit disappeared. Now it's phased between £50,000 and £60,000. From my perspective, those are the main points. Now, what they mean to you will, of course, depend on your circumstances, but those are the main things as far as I've picked up from listening to it live. It is now only 2:15, so the Chancellor only stood down about half an hour ago. Sat down. So anyway, I hope this has been useful. Leave any questions under the video. I'll do my best to answer them when I can. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.